Good morning, UPBOptionMillionaires.com. It's Thursday, August 21st, 2014, and stock futures are higher. It's about an hour and a half before the market's going to open. And you can see the European market open is what spiked stock futures, S&P 500 futures here. We're consolidating, and we look poised to make that move. Making that move over to the $200 level, and you look at this, the Abenomics low. This trend line remains significant support. And each time we've hit it, we've bounced off it. And look at the move up we've had really over the short term. Just a really sharp reversal. We had the bears coming out. This was a Thursday, August 7th, and into Friday, August 8th. A week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks ago, actually. The bears were coming out saying, oh, this is it. Here's the, we actually down to 188 on the SPY overnight into Friday morning. And then when the market opened, we haven't looked back. It's been a strong rally. We've just hit record levels. Unbelievable. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? If you looked at the chart I put up at StockTwits at the time, also at the blog at OptionMillionaires.com, I was talking about this Abenomics low, this trend line that continues to act as support. And each time we hit this trend line, especially when we get oversold like we were just a couple weeks ago when back at the start of the year, we see a really sharp rally to the upside. Now, we're about here now, and I keep marking this out because when we started the rally, I equated the rally here. I said, all right, here we're here. Now we're up here. So now we're at the point where it looks like the gains are going to start to slow down a little bit, and we're just going to slowly melt up over that $200 level on the SPY. That doesn't mean individual names aren't going to make a big move, and that's what we'll see. I think earnings is going to help move one name higher, and that's CRM. And I was talking about this one as a possible head and shoulders pattern. You can see it here. This is a one-year daily chart. This is a left shoulder. And then we had a right shoulder forming here. But guess what? We're not failing. We haven't failed there. We had our chance to break to the downside. And I think this is the time. This earnings report, and the best part about it is that the option market is giving you a good price. It's kind of like, hey, we're on sale. We're going to give you a coupon for the calls. And so I think the calls are actually priced rather attractively for a possible move to the upside. I'm already in the 56.50s. I got those at 90 cents. The stock has already been rallying this week, so those 56.50s, they're doing pretty good already. So I'm in at a good price, and I'm looking for that move up to 60 bucks, and I think it's going to happen. A similar chart that I would just bring up to talk about a failed head and shoulders pattern. How about that failed head and shoulders pattern for the NASDAQ, the QQQ back in April? We had the left shoulder at the start of the year. We had the head. We had a right shoulder forming here, and I was talking about, hey, this isn't a head and shoulders pattern. This is a broadening descending wedge. And I said, and you can look at the blog at OptionMillionaires.com back in April, I said this broadening descending wedge is going to resolve with significantly higher prices. And yeah, I was right. But whatever. I'm not going to toot my horn or anything. So nonetheless, this failed head and shoulders pattern is something I see for CRM. And it's a stock that even the analyst came out the other day and said, hey, this is not a stock that's going to move a lot post-earnings. They're not expecting any kind of surprise. So when I see something like that, I think to myself, that's probably the exact opposite of what's going to happen. Because the analysts, just like they were wrong downgrading Apple at the lows, the same thing here. We see a stock sitting at support, didn't break through the neckline. I love it. I love CRM here. I think it's going to do really well heading into, and of course, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I talked about it yesterday in the chat room. I've been with the earnings trades I've made recently. I've been pretty spot off, spot on. Forget it. All right, so let's go to. We have earnings also after the bell from TFM, and I'm actually in Whole Foods because I love Whole Foods. And look at TFM holding that $30 level. We like that too. Consolidating here, so I'm looking possibly for a move. I might get some calls. I'm in Whole Foods as well. Look at this. Right at support. I love this stock here. It was down 1.5%. Let's see if we can get a bounce there on Whole Foods. And again, bringing up Google. I just like Google here. I brought it up at the blog at OptionMillionaires.com. I love this cup and handle formation. The handle has already been formed. We're looking for the continuation. We're going to break out to record levels as we did with Apple. Apple looks really strong here. Nobody was liking it back down here, but look at Apple go. And let's move to another earnings report. How about GameStop, which is at support? The only issue with GameStop is heavily shorted stock, so we could see it move rather sharply in either direction, which means the options are priced for a big move, which means you're not going to be able to get the options cheap like we're able to do for CRM. But nonetheless, one to watch, because one of the earnings reports, I think it was 2 quarters ago, the stock moved dramatically to the downside and then recovered all those losses and then some. So it was a buy the dip opportunity. Much like we saw with Target Target had a great move, and I talked about this in my video for Target. I said, Target, I said, if it dips, I might get some calls. I said, I like it over the $60 level. So it did dip on earnings, and look at it come back. Back, and over almost $61. So I love Target. That's the kind of trade you like to make. If you don't get into the earnings trade, we get a dip, buy it. Buy it. That's the philosophy there in this market. Just buy it. Just buy it, baby. Go to the blog at Option Millionaires. Put in the search. I did a little piece on buy it. Just buy it. You know, it's like the Nike. Just buy it. Stocks are down. Just buy it. And then finally, we have earnings from Gap and Intuit. Intuit has just been on a tear. And this is a stock, you know, you want to trade it for upside or downside, but it just looks steady as she goes, Captain. Steady as she goes. So this is not something really I trade for earnings because I really don't expect any kind of sharp move. Gap's possibly, we could see it here where it's support, but also if you look at Gap, this just looks like a beautifully bullish pattern. I love that, beautifully bullish. And I'm looking for upside here, but I'm not going to trade for it. I'm already in CRM. I don't like getting too many call or put contracts heading into earnings. And also we have Williams-Sonoma reported earnings after the bell yesterday. I'm not sure where it is. I could look it up. I could look. I'm just too lazy. What do you think it went? I said it was going to go lower. Flat. Boring. This market is making me yawn. All right, so we have earnings, CRM. We also have Marvell, which is a stock that could possibly, it's not, I've traded for earnings before. You would say, all right, it's out of this wedge here, which is bullish. If you look, a wedge, similar wedge like this, U.S. Steel, which broke out and has continued to move positively. Marvell broke out. It's kind of just like, oh, I'm just not ready to make the move yet. So we'll see. Maybe this earnings report will send it back over $15 a share, and those call contracts will work out. They're probably pretty cheap. So, all right, 2BB. I'll be in the chat room at OptionMillionaires.com. Really liking CRM. Sears Holdings is a stock I was talking about. I put a post up at the blog at OptionMillionaires.com. And yeah, it's getting hammered here on a sizable loss. Almost a $6 per share loss, which is, yeah, pretty big. Pretty big. I was also talking about this. See, this beautiful wedge. Maybe we'll break out here. Now, the earnings report were down, what, 6-7%? And to me, it's the same thing that we saw when I was in the chat room and I was talking about the Fed minutes yesterday. This market is so resilient. Well, guess what? There's some of these stocks, and Sears Holdings has been beaten down. I think it's the last 6 quarters has reported really awful numbers. So it's getting to the point where you're getting beaten down so much that at some point you just stand up for yourself. So I don't know. Maybe today's the day Sears Holdings stands up for itself. It's been shorted to death. There's something like 30 days for all the shorts to cover the shares. So you would look at action like this. You'd say, all right, well, the shorts have been right for a pretty gosh darn long time. And Sears Holdings, this could be the earnings report is down 6%, where the market's like, all right, you're either going, belly up, or you're going to turn it around right here, right now. You got that? So I think I would not be surprised in this marketplace to see a stock like Sears Holdings down 7%, come all the way back, and rip 5 to 10% higher, and everybody just be scratching your heads going, how did that happen? Oh, and I've been short the market since the August 8th lows, like all the pundits out there who thought this was it. All the rallies should be sold. I mean, you can go to some of the Twitter accounts of a lot of the pundits out there. They were telling you this: sell the rips, sell all the rips. Okay, so every day if I sold the rips, gosh, I mean, at some point you're going to run out of money. And if you've been doing that for 5 years, sell the rips. Okay, sell the rips. Well, geez, I don't even know how you'd make it out of like 2011 selling the rips. Anyway, UPB here, OptionMillionaires.com. I'll see you in the chat room, everyone. Have a great trading session. CRM tonight after the bell. We'll see what it does. I think it's going to go higher. I could be wrong. I could be crazy. Again, the options are priced just attractively. And so if we get that big move, we're going to make some money. UPB here. I'll see you all later. Take care. Goodbye.